Hey everybody, it's Gunsmoke Tactical. You know what time it is. Time for another firearm video. Today I'm doing my Memorial Day salute to all the men and women that sacrificed their lives for our freedom. And just try to show exactly the different firearms that they utilize during those campaigns in order to keep us free. First we're going to start out with their duty rifle, which was the Springfield 1903, chambered in .30-06. It was basically a Mauser. Basically, it was a derivative of the German Mauser that we perfected for our purposes. You know, it was knockdown power with accuracy, you know, and basically good repetitive shots. Very, very nice platform, durable, did the job. For the sidearms, they had 38. So basically, I think the original was the Colt 1903. This is just 38 here, just to show the similarity of that. 38 was okay, but at that point in time, that cartridge didn't have a lot of knockdown power, so they adapted the Colt 1911. Also, Smith & Wesson made a version of the 1911 as well, but Colt was the standout. 8 rounds of 45 ACP, ready to do what it needs to be done. And basically, this firearm just traveled all the way up through different campaigns because of its accuracy, because of its knockdown power, because of its reliability. In World War II, they stepped up to, sometimes they used the 1903 as well, but they adapted the M1 Garand, which was which is basically, it wasn't a bolt action like the 1903. It was an semi-automatic, capable of cartridging 8 rounds of .30-06. General Patton said it was the best war implement ever. And I believe it, because this thing still shoots very, very well. I mean, I take it out to the range every now and then and shoot, and the groupings are the groupings are an inch or less. So it's very, very nice. It adapted to the recoil. You can adjust to the recoil very well on this firearm. Very, very nice. They also use, for handguns and stuff, they also use some 38s as well, like we just talked about. But it didn't have the knockdown power that was needed. So basically, a lot of the soldiers and stuff were issued the M1 carbine, which is a 30 caliber bullet. Okay, and they had 30 rounds of 30 cal, which they could use. You see how small and short it is. It can be used, you know, quickly in basically close quarter combat. You know, it was light enough to carry. Wasn't too bulky, so it did the job. You know, it did the job. It's a very, very good shooting firearm as well. Very, very nice shooting. And here it goes again. 1911, followed them up to World War II. Was there? This was the issue. This was the standard issue sidearm in World War II. It was the 1911 Colt 1911 and 45 ACP. Nice, beautiful firearm. Did what it's supposed to do. It was a master's master. It was a great firearm. They did. John Brown did very, very well on this firearm. He did. Everybody else just basically tried to copy it, but this is a standalone firearm. Going up to the Vietnam War, basically, Vietnam War, the number one, basically, they steal the 45, again, the 45 ACP, 1911, walked right up into that campaign and stayed in there and did his job very, very well. Did really, really well in there. So, like I said, you see that the 1911's been around a long, long time. Also, the duty rifle was the M16, made by the company called Armalite. Armalite was, at that point in time, they had a good contract back in 1963 to make firearms for the military, and the military chose to adapt the M16, which is very, very far around. That one, it came in with a standard 20-round magazine. Got the 30-round magazines as well. When they first adapted this firearm, they had some problems with it jamming and was, getting dirty on the inside. So they had to go back and change it up and do some adaptations to make it more reliable. Today, it is one of the most reliable firearms, combat firearms in the market. They also use the M14, which I don't have my M1A here right now. I'm having some work done on it, but they had it. It was a very, very nice firearm. Very, very nice. They use a sniper. They're still using it today for sniper rifles. It's known as the M14. The civilian version is the M1A. And basically now they're still using that as a sniper rifle now. At that time it was fully automatic. And there's still fully automatic versions of it and the sniper versions out there today. After the Vietnam War, and we started getting through our Cold Wars and everything, in the 80s, they adapted the Beretta as the official sidearm. 15 rounds of 9mm, very, very durable, very, very wonderful firearm, easy access, open bolt, open barrel design. Very, very nice, very, very good shooting feet on firearm. You see these in all the movies and stuff, it's just like it's supposed to in the movies. Very, very nice, very, very dependable firearm. This here is the Beretta Inox. Very, very sweet firearm. And like I say, they still to this day, the M16 is still the go-to firearm for our military today. There's a lot of other versions now. You got the M4s, the M4 comes in so many different characteristics. You can have a short barrel, 14-inch, 7-inch. Basically, there's so many different ways you can adapt this firearm. That's why it's one of the most versatile and more adaptable firearms on the market today. So it's very, very nice. All right, late into, after they retired the Beretta, they 6 Hour won the contract for the P320, which they designated the M17. This was dedicated to the M9. Again, P320, very, very modular vehicle, module firearm. Basically, a do-it-all. You can take the FCU, the fire control units, out and put them in different chassis and modernize it the way you want to. This one, it's already set up for a red dot. You can put the red dot on there, RMR plate. So, very, very nice firearm. So, those are the firearms that I'm showing today for the salute to Memorial Day. I'm going to be doing some more salutes to that. Basically, I'm going to be going to all the different countries that participated in all these different wars or conflicts, so forth. And we're going to just look at some of the firearms that they utilized at that time. So, just remember, like and subscribe to my channel. Gunsmoke Tactical out. Peace.